Serethi Voss pressed her palm against the shuttle's cracked console and felt the metal hum back. It always did that. Every piece of Progenitor wreckage she had ever touched answered her with the same low vibration, like a conversation she could not quite hear. She pulled her hand away and wiped the orange dust from her fingers. The coordinates glowed on the navigation screen. Maren's coordinates, whispered through a throat so eaten by mineral paste that each syllable had cost the old woman something irreplaceable. Serethi had punched them in without understanding the destination. The dead do not waste their last words on places that do not matter. The shuttle bucked. A chemical updraft slammed the starboard hull. 3 warning indicators flared amber. The port stabilizer was grinding beneath the floor, metal teeth chewing metal teeth. She had maybe 8 minutes of stable flight. Below her, the Warrens waited. Safety, familiar corrosion, a life measured in water rations. Above her, the storm thinned toward black. She pushed the throttle forward. The shuttle screamed through the upper atmosphere, trailing sparks from its patched hull. Chemical lightning forked around the cockpit in veins of white-blue. The vibration in the console deepened, not mechanical now, something that matched the rhythm building at the base of her skull. Warmth, faint and insistent. Dust fell away beneath her. The rust-orange clouds shrank to a wound on the planet's surface, then to a smear, then to nothing. Stars appeared, cold and absolute. The navigation system locked onto coordinates that pointed to empty space. No system registered. No station. No charted body. Just void and a destination her dead mother had deemed worth dying for. She flew for 9 hours through nothing. The recycled air grew thin. She rationed water. Slept in fragments, waking each time the console hummed louder, as if the ship itself were growing impatient. On the 9th hour, the viewport filled with blue. An ocean world. No landmass, no orbital stations, just water, endless and dark beneath 2 pale moons. The shuttle's navigation showed blank space where the planet sat. According to every chart in the galaxy, this world did not exist. But the coordinates were precise, and the console was singing. Serethi brought the shuttle down through thin silver clouds. The ocean stretched to every horizon, dark as obsidian, reflecting the moons in long pale scars. Then beneath the water, light, geometric, blue-white, pulsing in patterns that carried the same rhythm as the warmth at the base of her skull. She set the shuttle on the water's surface. The hull groaned, held up only by emergency flotation bladders scavenged from a crashed dome 2 years ago. She sealed her envirosuit. 4 hours of oxygen. She opened the ventral hatch. The shaft swallowed her. Progenitor material lined the walls, dark and smooth and alive with slow pulses of bioluminescence. Water streamed in thin sheets that scattered the light into moving constellations. This was not architecture. This was anatomy. She was descending into the throat of something that had been breathing for 8,000 years. The shaft opened into a chamber that broke every reference point she had. Spherical. Vast. Walls curving inward at angles her eyes could not reconcile. Dark material veined with pulsing blue-white light. Doorways twice human height opened onto corridors, curving into non-Euclidean darkness. The floor illuminated beneath her boots, each step leaving a trail of pale light. At the center, suspended in nothing, an object hung. It shifted, a cube that became a sphere that became something with too many faces to count. The humming was deafening now, not in her ears, in her bones. Serethi said, "What are you?" The chamber answered. Light erupted from every surface, blue-white filaments that shot toward her like living things. They struck the base of her skull, and the world inverted. She was being read. Her blood, her cells, her neural architecture scanned by something that had been waiting for this genetic signature since before the War of Nine Suns erased the house that carried it. Luminous veins erupted from the base of her skull, spreading down her neck in branching lines of blue-white light. She screamed. The chamber screamed back or sang. The distinction dissolved. The progenitor system was rewriting her neural pathways, opening channels dormant in her bloodline for 1,200 years. She clawed at her neck. The veins spread faster. Maren's voice surfaced in memory, not words, but the resonance of mineral-coated throat. The geological patience of a woman who had known this moment would come. Maren had raised her, taught her to scavenge, to survive, to read the dead languages on progenitor walls, and never told her why. Because telling her meant sending her here, and sending her here meant this. The coordinates were never directions to a place. They were directions to a transformation. Serethi collapsed. The floor caught her in light. The binding pulsed through her in waves, each less violent, more integrated, as if her neurology were surrendering to a new operating language. The geometric object above had stopped shifting. It held a single form, a shape she could almost name. Then a sound that was not the archive. Bootsteps, human, measured and deliberate, the cadence of someone trained to move through hostile architecture without hesitation. Kale Thyros stepped into the central chamber and stopped. His prosthetic hand hung at his side. His scanner blinked with data it could not process. The surgical scar at his temple caught the blue light. He looked at Serethi on the floor, at the luminous veins on her neck, at the chamber that had activated around her, like a body waking from 8 millennia of sleep. Serethi whispered, "How did you find this place?" Kale said, "The same way you did. Someone told me where to look." He knelt beside her. The scanner swept her vitals, heart rate elevated, neural activity spiking in patterns the device had no baseline for. She was becoming part of the architecture. He gripped her arm and pulled her from the immersion field center. The filaments of light resisted, stretching like tendons before snapping free. Serethi gasped. The chamber dimmed, not dark, but diminished, as if something essential had been interrupted mid-sentence. She sat against the curved wall, breathing hard. The veins on her neck still glowed. They did not fade. Kale said, "Can you walk?" Serethi looked at her hands. The same hands, the same chemical burn scars along her left forearm. But beneath the skin, something new was running. She could feel the archive the way she had once felt the Warrens, not as a place she occupied, but as a place that occupied her. Serethi said, "I don't think I can undo this." Kale said, "No, I don't think you can." He did not offer comfort. He offered his prosthetic hand to help her stand, the same hand his family had severed as a traitor's mark, its matte black joints clicking under her grip as she rose. Above them, the geometric object resumed its shifting, cycling through forms with what might have been patience or hunger, or the simple persistence of a system interrupted, but not stopped. The binding scars on Serethi's neck pulsed once, twice, settled into a rhythm that matched the archive's heartbeat. She was no longer anonymous. She was no longer a scavenger from a dying world. And the man standing beside her, the disinherited son of the house most likely to want her dead, was the only person in the galaxy who knew where she was. Neither of them moved toward the exit. Outside, the ocean world turned slowly beneath its two pale moons, patient as it had been for millennia. keeping it secret the way the dead keep theirs, completely and without apology. The archive breathed. Serethi breathed with it, and somewhere in the luminous veins now threaded through her nervous system, a language older than the 5 houses whispered its first syllable, not to her mind but to her blood, and waited, with the calm of 8,000 years, for her to answer.